you know, I was sat thinking about this the other day, right? Or just generally, and I'm sat and I'm thinking, it's like, people are scary, you know? Like, when you really, really, really deep it and you really, really think about it, people, like, just human beings are bloody scary beings. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like because of, like, the intelligence that humans can hold, like, and the way that we communicate via, you know, language and everything like that. I mean, it's completely different from what, like, animals and that do. Like, it's like the communication that we have as humans is like ridiculously advanced, and obviously, you know, there are different languages and stuff like that. But like, because of the way that we can conduct ourselves in conversations, yeah, that can lead to some really kind of scary situations, you know. Like, the example I keep thinking of is you can literally be having a conversation with someone and they could seem like the most genuine and like most normal, most incredible sort of good person ever, right? They could come across as genuinely like such a nice sound person, but they could be genuinely awful. They could be a horrible human being, but they can genuinely convince you otherwise just through communication and the way that they might know how to act about certain people to be able to get what they want. And that is scary. Like, that is really scary. Like, I don't even know if that kind of thing even exists anywhere else in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't, as far as I'm aware, I don't think animals can't exactly do the same thing. It's not like they can lie to each other to be able to get what they want kind of thing. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So humans are scary. Like, I you know, I mean, it's like, let's think about this, right? So let's say that you're talking to someone. Let's say, I don't know. For the sake of argument, let's say this is someone that you might be romantically interested in, right? Let's say that's the case, right? You have you're getting to know them over, you know, a couple weeks, couple months and stuff like that. You know, you're talking to them and everything like that. You can go out, you could see them, you could meet up with them, and you know, it could seem great. They could seem like the most understanding, most incredible, most wonderful person who sort of gets you. And you know, they seem like a great person, a great partner, but they could be seriously, the whole time they could be fully manipulating you, like literally, and be putting almost an act on for the whole time, and you might not ever know that. They could be telling you all sorts. They could be saying, you know, you're incredible, I love you so much, like you're the only person I want, and the whole time they could be seeing someone else, like. And they could be like straight up lying to your face, right? There are people out there who could be bawling their eyes out, crying, right? And be full on, still dead ass lying. Like completely lying to your face and just trying to convince you otherwise. Like, you know, I'm sure that there are other people that think about this, but like that really sits with me, you know. And I don't know whether that's something to do with the fact that, you know, I struggle with social anxiety, like. So I guess maybe, I don't know if it's something I think about more because of that, I don't know. Or, like, I know that I can sort of see communication and socializing is quite different for me as well because of my neurodivergence. And, you know, I find it hard to talk to people sometimes. And, well, not sometimes. It's difficult to talk to people, especially people that I don't know. And I don't do well in groups, even if, like, I'll know a large amount of them. Like, after a certain amount of time, I don't even want to. But, like, it's crazy, because I like to think, like, that I try my best to sort of be, like, the most, like, out there, not out there, the most sort of, like, always, I always try to, like, be honest, you know, even just the way that I act and sort of the way I communicate with people. But, like, I feel guilty with it, like, if I have to lie, like, if I lie about anything, really. Like, that really sits with me, but, you know, sometimes that's life, sometimes that happens, and there's not really much you can do about it, but, like, I feel like I always try my best to be the most honest that you can be as a person, you know what I mean? But, like, it just is really scary to think that there are people out there who know when to lie, and they know how to use that, and who to use it against. I don't know whether it's to get what they want, or if they just see it as some twisted game, like playing with people's emotions and sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really weird. And, you know, it's making me tweak out a little bit, you know, because it's sort of a thought that plays in your mind sometimes. And, you know, sometimes it is hard to, like, trust people, because when you think about it, like, when you trust someone and you say that you trust that person, that is saying a lot, right? Because it's hard to fully really trust anyone in this world. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, you, at any point, they could be fully lying to you. They could be fully pulling your leg. They could be fully convincing you of something that isn't the truth, like, the whole time. And you wouldn't know unless something were to happen, or they were to say, or there would be something that would happen as a and that as a catalyst would lead to you being like, hold up a second, like, this isn't right, like, this doesn't line up with this, or... So, you know, it's crazy, it's really weird. I guess that could be used in other ways as well. I mean, because of how complex our communication is as human beings, that could be used in a good way as well. Like I said, like, you know, some people could be like super genuine and stuff, and they could genuinely understand you, like, and the people around them, and they do actually, like, do everything they can to be a good person, like, and that is just them. But even then, I feel like you can never fully know. You can never fully know. I mean, you know, I not to get too dark here, but, like, I swear the amount of people who will turn out to be, who'll get convicted or caught being, like, some crazy wacko jobs, like, doing crazy stuff, like game-ending people, right? I don't think YouTube likes the K word very much, so I'm using game-ending. You know, I like, and they could, like, there are people that will say, like, I never would have expected that. Like, who was it? Was it Ted Bundy? Or something like that? I don't know if I'm going to have to censor that. I have no idea. But I could have sworn that he, on the outside, looked like a really genuine, upstanding person. Like, I could have sworn that he was he, would they, I don't know what he looks like, but they would say, like, he was a pretty good looking guy. And he genuinely just seems like a normal person. But obviously it turns out that he was absolutely not that. And he definitely had his whole head knocked in and screws loose to be able to, you know, to be doing the stuff that he was doing. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of people that turn out that way. I know that there's the stereotypical, you know, there's the quiet kid at the back who's wearing a black hoodie and just, you know, doesn't talk to people and is always a bit weird. But, like, that's not the case. Like, it's just... There will be awful people out there that you would never have suspected until they end up getting caught for like, somehow. But I know that that's obviously, like, a very, very extreme example. I mean, of course. But, like, you know, like, and I feel like that comes into a lot, because especially when you're getting into things like getting into a relationship with someone else, like, that is a lot of trust on there. Like, I feel like we, as a... God, not to get, like, too deep into this again, but, like, I feel like we as a society have forgotten, I guess, almost how much that it actually means to say that you're with someone. Like, say, oh yeah, that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend, that's my partner. Like, that is, like, you're putting a lot of faith in someone else, because they could be doing something else, that they could be talking to someone else the whole time. They could be going out and, I don't know, they could be, like I said, seeing other people, they could be talking to other people, they could be doing God knows what with completely other people, and you might not ever know. Obviously, I'm sure eventually there'll be suspicions, and people do usually get caught when they do that, but they could have you in that sort of hazed state where you don't think that they would be doing something like that, because they've convinced you otherwise. But that whole time, genuinely, they were doing that, and it's like, I don't know, like, this is just a first take run. I mean, I literally just came back from a walk about, well, I took a couple hours. I was out for like a just over 6 mile walk, and, you know, I sat there, you know, just me in my headphones, you know, walking about, the breeze on me, right, you know, nice weather. You know, it gives me time to think, you know. It gives me time to have some thoughts about things. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, I want to make a video about this, because it's it's genuinely like a really scary thing. Like, it is terrifying. Humans are terrifying. I mean, you know, it's crazy. I don't know. But then I guess when you get too absorbed into that, that can obviously lead to really bad things, because you might isolate yourself from everyone else because you don't trust anyone. Like, I'm not trying to promote that by any means, because obviously us as human beings, like, we are built to be social creatures and stuff like that. And that's coming from me, the person who spends a lot of time indoors. But, like, you know, it is important to go out and do things with people. So I'm not trying to promote, you know, not talking to other people and sort of taking yourself away from other people. Because obviously, at the end of the day, I'm sure a majority of people are going to be completely fine. And it is sort of like what you see is what you get kind of thing. But it's scary to think that at any moment, like at any time, someone genuinely could just be lying to you the whole time. They could be living a completely different life. And something on top of that as well is, I'm not sure what's scarier. The people that do that and they know exactly what they're doing and it's like fully methodical and they have it all planned out and they know how they have like almost, you know, they have different personalities for different people. And I'm not talking about, you know, BPD or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, does that fall under BPD? I don't even know. But it's like people that will it's like they know what they're doing. Like, they're intentionally presenting themselves in different ways and talking certain ways, and they know how to get what they want out of a different person. I think that's different from BPD, but that, like, I don't know what's scarier, someone who does that and they know what they're doing, or people that do that and they're so far gone and they're convinced that they are right and that is sort of the right thing to be doing. It's like they believe their own lies because they're so much of they do it so often that they do genuinely start to believe it. Like, I don't even know what's scarier because they're both terrifying. I mean, just wanted to give my takes on this, just randomly. It's almost a bit therapeutic to get it out, actually, you know. I don't know whether other people are going to relate to this. I don't know. I'm sure there are going to be a couple people that think I'm projecting, like, heavy, and they're going to be like, who hurt you, bro? I promise you, I'm doing alright. I just think it's a really, really, I don't know, really, really interesting subject that I feel like people don't really talk about enough. I feel like it sort of just gets overlooked in a way, because we've become so, not trusting, I feel like it's just sort of become so, I guess, normalized to, I don't know, I'm at the point where I'm not really even making any sense when I'm saying anything anymore, so I think I'm just going to leave this one here. This has been Donny. Have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.